His enemies believed he was impossible to kill. Blades couldn't stop him. Fire couldn't slow him. And when he finally died, even death itself didn't end his power. This is the story of Bjorn Ironside. Bjorn Ironside was born into violence. He was the son of Ragnar Lothbrok, the most feared Viking of his time, a man who turned kings into prisoners and kingdoms into ash. From childhood, Bjorn was raised not to survive, but to conquer. According to legend, Bjorn's mother believed her son was protected by the gods, that his skin was harder than iron, and the name stayed, Ironside. Bjorn didn't inherit his father's reputation, he earned it. As a young warrior, he led raids across England, Francia, and the Baltic coast. Villages burned before they could even pray. But Bjorn wanted more than loot. He wanted immortality. Bjorn planned something unthinkable, a Viking invasion of the Mediterranean. With a massive fleet, Bjorn sailed past Gibraltar, into lands that had never seen Norse warriors. They attacked Spain, North Africa, and southern Italy. In one famous attack, Bjorn tricked a heavily fortified city by pretending to be dead. His men begged to bury him inside the walls. Once inside, Bjorn rose from his coffin. The gates fell. The city burned. Bjorn survived shipwrecks, battles, ambushes. Stories spread that weapons could not pierce him. To his enemies, he wasn't human. He was a curse. But Bjorn wasn't reckless. He knew legends don't last forever, so he did something unexpected. Bjorn returned to Scandinavia. He didn't die in battle. He became king of Sweden. From his throne, he ruled with the same cruelty and intelligence that built his legend. But his final move was his most terrifying. When Bjorn died, he was buried armed and seated upright, facing the sea. His people believed, as long as Bjorn faced the horizon, no enemy would dare cross the water. And for generations, they didn't. Bjorn Ironside became a legend by conquering the world beyond Scandinavia. But while Bjorn ruled the seas, another son of Ragnar was shaping a far darker reputation. One who did not need strength to inspire fear, only his mind. This is the story of Ivar the Boneless. Ivar the Boneless was not born like other Viking warriors. From childhood, his body betrayed him. His legs were weak, twisted. Some said he could not walk without help. In a world where strength meant survival, Ivar should have been forgotten. Instead, he became one of the most terrifying figures the Viking Age ever produced. While Bjorn Ironside earned glory with his axe and sails, Ivar sharpened something far more dangerous: his mind. Other warriors laughed at Ivar. They called him broken, useless, boneless. But Ragnar Lothbrok saw something else in his son. Where others saw weakness, Ragnar saw intelligence. Cold, calculating, patient. Ivar learned early that he would never win battles with brute force, so he learned how to control men who could. Ivar understood something most warriors didn't. Fear breaks armies faster than swords. He studied enemies, learned their habits, their fears. When Ivar spoke, warriors listened, not because he was loud, but because he was precise. He promised victory, and when victory came, it was brutal. When Ragnar was killed by King Alla of Northumbria, Ivar did not scream. He did not charge blindly. He waited. Then he gathered one of the largest Viking forces ever assembled, the Great Heathen Army, not for conquest, for revenge. Ivar led the invasion of England with chilling efficiency. Villages burned, kingdoms collapsed. Enemies were not just defeated, they were broken. When King Alla was finally captured, Ivar ordered one of the most feared executions in Viking history. The Blood Eagle, a message to the world. This was not a warrior to challenge lightly. While Bjorn Ironside carved his legacy across the Mediterranean, Ivar carved his into the minds of his enemies. Bjorn became famous, Ivar became feared. One ruled by strength, the other by terror and strategy. Together they represented two sides of Viking power, the blade and the mind behind it. The sons of Ragnar did not conquer the world in the same way. but together they made sure it would never forget their name. Bjorn Ironside ruled the seas, Ivar the Boneless ruled fear itself. And these are their echoes,